What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce, and in episode 1, Sauce, of the new series, the Magnificent Seven, it's going to be a tongue twister for me, I reckon, for all 7 episodes that we drop. Looking at 7 people in the hobby, or it could be multiple people based in Australia that are doing awesome things. It's not the 7 best. Let's make that clear from day dot source. We're not making anyone a elitist over anyone because it's a great hobby here in Australia. We just want to identify all the different people, all our friends, just these lovely people in the community that have supported us and are supporting other people. And we're starting with one of the OG Sauce. Give him a big
OG.
rap.
Yeah. If you're not familiar, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take his shine away. Adam, introduce yourself. Who are you, and where can people find you?
Yeah, hey young guys, thanks for having me on. Especially as the first, as the Magnificent Seven. I don't know if that really covers me at all, like magnificent. But anyway, I'm Adam, Beats and Breaks on Instagram, and I'm just a collector.
A bit more
He's
than
more
that.
than
You've,
that.
you've sold yourself short.
He sells himself short, mate, all the time. But we will get into why he shouldn't be selling himself short, Saucy. Yeah, he does some great work. He's in the custom card field as well as a big collector. He does collect a lot of stuff. You would have seen him before in a cameo on the Hobby Hangout live stream we did for them, and he was not for anything. He was our reporter on the ground there at in Sydney. He showed us around the show, which was very nice of him. So it was awesome. But we'll get straight into it. Adam, when did you start collecting?
Well, my story is a lot like a lot of blokes my age. I'm 82 model, so I'm 39 later on this year. So sort of hit that mid-teens in the middle of the 90s when Jordan was huge and basketball was massive. And I started getting into actually NRL cards before that slightly, just because my friends at school would take them to school and trade them. But yeah, then the basketball card scene got really big, and that had a lot to do with Jordan having a worldwide reach and just being so massive. So yeah, we all got stuck into the basketball cards and had our binders, and would still take loose cards in our backpack to school, and they'll roll around, and we'll trade them with mates, and none of them lasted. I don't have a single one from back then. But so collecting started for me in the mid-90s with that junk wax stuff, and then as we got older, we sort of started going to the pub and chasing tail, and you forget about collecting, and you put that stuff to the side, and you get a job, and then I don't even know where my cards are anymore. They would have been in a cupboard somewhere at my mum's place, and she probably chucked them in the bin. But that's where I get the itch from, the collecting itch. So yeah.
It's also you muted, mate, just in case. Yeah.
I was going to say the collector's itch. The collector's itch is once it gets you. I mean, you may forget about it, but it's still there. So I mean, it seems as though it got reinvigorated recently.
Yeah. So and then that's a story for a lot of blokes like my age. We got a bit of spending money, and then we with COVID hitting and social media played a huge part in it. Instagram being able to showcase your stuff, but for me I was wanting to spend more time at home with the family. I was out going fishing and hunting and doing a bit of that sort of stuff. What can I do at home that that's productive and keeps my mind working, not just and spend a bit more time with the family and that. And I was actually selling jerseys, basketball jerseys and footy jerseys on eBay, stuff I find at op shops, and go to garage sales and of a weekend, and I'll find all these secondhand jerseys, and I was selling them on eBay and making a bit of profit. I think it was Gary V story or something came on, and he was talking about cards, and I'm like, oh man, like I used to collect cards, and I was heaps into it. And it'd be a hell of a lot easier to post than the jerseys that I'm posting around Australia to people, like a lot cheaper. And so I started looking into it, and I think it was just as COVID was hitting too. And the whole thing just blew up, as we all know. And still really into it. Like, you guys know I'm on your lives a lot, and chatting and stuff, and I'm just trying to absorb it all, and trying to learn. And
there is a lot to learn, and I think it's one of those things in this hobby you're learning weekly. Whether
daily
it's a player, daily, weekly, monthly, all the time. It's one of those things you listen to so many like podcasts, or you watch videos, and there's so many content creators, like you're saying, and they've got sports that they're into, they've got entertainment cards that they're into, TCG cards, and a lot of this stuff pops up, and you just start discussing in your circles, like, oh, remember this, oh, remember that. And mate, there's so many cards out there, and that's one thing Sauce and I've always said, that there's literally something for everyone.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't have to just be sport.
And I made the same mistakes as most people jumping back into the hobby did. Was, I grabbed a bit of Pokemon and grabbed a bit of NFL and stuff I didn't really know a whole lot about. And you couldn't really lose on it at that point. But I just didn't know enough about it. So I don't touch that stuff anymore. And I stick to my NBA and my NRL cards, which I'm really into. And it sort of gets me invested in the games as well a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas some blokes like to gamble on games and stuff to get, to get that enjoyment out of it, and have a little bit more invested in the games. I use cards to do that, like I'm a big Phillies supporter, like 76ers, sorry. So I collect all the guys, like all the rookies, and as we know what's going on lately, Simmons is a bust, so there goes all those cards. And
you can send them my way.
And I got in at a bad time. Like it was sort of 2019, and we had the number one pick. I think it was Markel Fultz. So I got big on Markel Fultz cards as well, which everyone knows where that story is. So
yeah, it's
Mr.
been
Marco,
a struggle.
I forgot how to shoot Fultz.
So you mainly collect basketball and NRL, like you said.
Yeah.
What type of cards in basketball outside of like Philly? If you're collecting Philly, do you? I know, and Source knows who you collect, but I know you like the GOATs. So some of the guys that you collect, and
so growing up in the 90s, it was all Jordan, but another bloke who had the biggest influence on me was AI. And he just the clothes he wore, the tattoos, and he was such a different character in NBA, like no one had ever seen it before, and a lot of young kids like me sort of gravitated towards him, and that's where I became a fan of the Sixers. And I've got a few of his rookies here.
we love the show and tell.
Like just some some early stuff, all the way up to his later Prism stuff. But that's just sort of like a little fun thing on the side. I grab cheap ones here and there, nothing graded or anything. But
he's a good one to collect because he's not too expensive. He's
nice and cheap, and it surprises me. I don't know whether he'll have an up. I don't think he will. I think it is what it is for him. Not winning a championship or anything like that, I don't think he's got a huge upside at all. But I collect a lot of Jordan cards, mostly PSA graded stuff, inserts, and not necessarily high grade, not 10s, so 6, 7, 8s, and 9s. And I was going to ask you guys about this because I was thinking today, we had the junk wax era, right? And those cards were worth nothing. So what if all these PSA cards that are being graded today, they're all going to be worth nothing in a couple of years or whatever, and people just sit them in the cupboards and all that sort of stuff, and they can't move them or sell them. But 20 years down the track, kids that saw all these PSA cards all over the socials and stuff go, oh, I wonder if anyone's still selling them, or I wonder if they're worth anything, and they start looking back at these PSA cards that don't exist anymore or whatever, 20 years down the track. What is it going to be? Something nostalgic for them to go and collect, or like, who knows?
Rip into it.
Yeah, look, first of all, I genuinely don't think that PSA is going anywhere. I think PSA will still be around in 20 years. Pretty the amount of money that's going into that company, I'd hope it's not failing within the next 20 years. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. I just think that anything that's not that's not encased. I mean, I'm like that. I buy anything that's probably I'm probably just looking more for 8s and 9s. I mean, any PSA 10 Jordan. There's not too many PSA 10 Jordans out there that are affordable. I mean, anything that's a good insert. But the base cards and that you can get those in a PSA 10. I think I've got a 91 Skybox USA Dream Team. His Dream Team card in the PSA 10. And that was relatively, it was only about 100 US. So I think there will be some collectability to that stuff, but I just think that anything that's maybe not encased, maybe in another 20 years from now, it could, it could have damage. I mean, sitting stuff in a top loader for a long time, it's actually really not good for it, because top loaders over a period of time, they yellow or something. I've seen this. Yeah, it's got to do with the storage conditions. So you don't really know there's optimal storage conditions for cards. And like I can nearly guarantee that 90% of people, 95% of people, aren't really thinking that in the back of their mind. So if they're actually keeping something and then they're holding it for 20 years and they're bringing it out at some point, if it's kept in a top loader, I think the condition could be affected as well. So that's why like I go after that stuff that's graded, so it's more protected.
Something like stuff like this, it's not like you can pick these up for 10 $20 US, right?
That baffles me.
Like a question for you, Adam, is do you know how many are in the pop on that card?
Probably lots. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost junk. Like, there's so many cards, and even
because my take on your question would be, my answer, sorry, they're nice. Like, they're sick cards. Like, why wouldn't you want those slabbed? But honestly, my answer to your question would be, like, you guys can pull me up on this, but the whole thing is like, it was and is the junk wax era, and that's fine, and I completely understand that. But in 20 years' time, I look at it like it was the junk wax era of cards that was opened. It wasn't the junk wax era of the cards that were graded. Like, technically the junk wax era of cards that were graded is this day and age.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'll go look at the Zion, for example, base, and there's 20,000 of them eventually. By the time in 20 years' time, there could be 30,000 by the time PSA.
Well, there's already nearly 20,000 PSA 10s.
But that's what I'm saying.
So I'm saying in 5 years' time, maybe they're worth nothing. Like, nobody values a PSA slab, and they end up in landfill. But then it comes back to like 20 years and people going, oh, wow, remember these things?
That's where I think all the value, though, will go into vintage in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
Because people will turn around and go, this card from 97, a 97 Jordan insert, for example, which is really sought after, and it's Michael Jordan, and everyone goes, oh, but it's not his rookie card. And they go, yeah, but look how many Zion, whatever 10th year card is graded compared to the Jordan 10th year card, which is an insert, and it's iconic, and it's pops like at 500 on a 10, but where the Zion's is thousands upon thousands. And people look at it like, back then, the manufacturing and stuff, not everyone was going pack rip sleeve card,
100%.
top load, send for grading. So it's the scarcity.
We're rolling around with them in our backpacks, mate.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So I genuinely reckon vintage will become king eventually and just overtake it all, and it'll just hold the testament of time. Like it'll literally, you look back at graded vintage cards as like, that's a vintage card that's protected, and I'm guaranteed a 10 with that because that's what it was graded as. And there's no issues when you have to go buy a raw card. Where if you have to go buy a modern raw card, more than likely, if you get it off someone you know and you grade it, it's going to get a really good grade. Where if you have to buy a vintage card, even if you are getting it off someone, you got to worry about miscuts or the centering because the way it was
100%.
printed was. Now all you got to worry about is Panini quality control. If there's no freaking stains on the card, like or print lines, that's the only thing you really have to worry about, and the centering.
I read a bit of Prism this year. It was atrocious. Like,
Yeah, the QC on it was bad. I think honestly the thing that really showed how bad their QC was when they dropped Mosaic, and they were like, I remember watching Blake open boxes from Cherry, and he was like, "What's going on here?" And there's like residue all over the cards. They were sticking together, and
it brings me to these guys here. These flux cards out of the they're out of the Chronicles set. I think
Chronicles,
it is.
Yeah, it's nice.
You almost can't find a 9 on eBay, like PSA or whatever. They're all coming back 10s. Like they're just such a nice card. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
There's such a nice card, and the quality control is really good on them. So they can get it right. I haven't seen many 9s, mostly 10s on eBay. So
you know what's interesting with that? I know we're getting sidetracked, but this is like just good hobby content chat. But with Flux being in Chronicles, when you drop Flux as a standalone product, technically does like, you know, when we go, 2012 his first year Prism, and it's his first Prism card. Technically, does the Flux cards of those players in the Chronicles set hold more value to the first year Flux product?
I hope so. I've got a ton of them.
Is that how it'll work, Source? Like you know how it works. They come up with
I don't
these
know.
brainwaves and stuff.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, I don't think people are going to have the same mentality about a Flux set that they are about Prism. The whole thing about Prism is it flashbacks to like it's the premium chromium set, right? The first premium chromium set post Topps era, right? And it was Prism. Then
it's actually technically Select, but the hobby chose for it to be Prism. Technically,
correct, right? Okay, so all of the fanboys of the hobby and Prism, they went Prism route. So yeah, that's why it's got that sort of that mantra about it. So I don't think Flux is going to have that same effect. I mean, we don't.
No, I meant just in general.
We don't hear people talking about. No, well, I'm just for example, we don't hear people talking about first year of Status, right? And Status is a product that's been around for a while.
Everyone talks about the first year of Prism.
First year of Prism.
Yeah,
I mean, people will also talk about the first year of Select. Like people do talk about first year of Select and first year of Optic. But the hobby's funny. I mean, it's pretty stupid if you ask me because there's 50 sets, so we're just disregarding the other, the other 47 sets. And I mean, next year we're expecting 150 sets. Let's get ready. It's going to be a lot.
It's funny. Like a lot of people don't like Flux. Like it's. I reckon I guess you either love it or hate it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I think they're really nice, and they really good quality control on them. I was just blown away. So
it literally looks like a film cell.
Yeah,
I reckon it's pretty sick.
So that's probably the modern ones I'm into now. I think Titan is a similar product. It's got like a solar system background. They're a good looking set as well. Titan. So yeah, very similar.
I've seen
quality control, I believe too.
I've seen that product. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not minding the recon set that they've brought out. I don't mind it.
Yeah, that looks actually pretty good. But yeah, it definitely does. Now let's move into something very quickly because this is where, as Saucy said, well, you said you don't qualify as magnificent, but Saucy and I completely disagree. But you do something else besides collecting, and not for anything. You've done some nice pieces of work for us, and we really do appreciate it. But you're into custom cards, and you create custom cards. First of all, like, how did you get into that, and what made you want to do it?
I think it was a rainy day, and I've been watching a few of your, not the Crunch on the normal Double Coverage podcast, and there's a little segment called Lemon of the Week, and I thought, how good would it be to have a trophy, like, go down and get a plaque and stuff, and on a trophy and have Lemon of the Week, and I thought, maybe it'd be more appropriate to be, a slab with a picture of a lemon on it, and lemon written Lemon of the Week in the title. And so I literally just stuffing around with a knife and an old Prism card, which you're holding in your hand there. And that is the worst piece of... it gives me chills now, looking how far I've come since that, because that's the first thing I've ever made.
Funnily enough, people that are watching this, people that are listening to this, I think Source, I'm kind of speechless behind it because, not for anything, in all honesty, we got you on here because you've been a massive supporter. You're a person in the hobby. You do custom cards. You become one of our really good mates. But we never, ever, ever knew. Well, I didn't. I don't know if Source you did, but we didn't know that your whole inspiration behind the custom cards started
Lemon of the Week.
From listening to this podcast and listening to Source yelling "lemon" every week. To be honest, so it's pretty touching. Is the fact that inspired you as well? And
it's a total accident that I was just sitting in my office here because I'm in a tiny little room in the back of my shed here, watching a podcast, and it just inspired how good would it be to have something tangible? Something tangible.
Yeah. We love it. We love it. And we've showed people, they can't believe we've got a BGS graded lemon card. They think it's the funniest thing ever. And it is. It's brilliant. And when he sent it, when you sent it to us, I was my eyes were amazed. It's really funny.
And if you look close, you can tell I had no idea what I was doing.
Don't stress, mate. Next year, mate,
you wait till next year's trophy. It's gonna be,
as we said, the person that wins Le Mans of the year. Well, I don't know what we're going to do when it comes to a professional person. We might have to go through their agent and get an address because we're going to send that. We're going to send them the trophy, mate. I'm hoping Stephen A. Smith gets it or something. And
yeah, we're sending them a trophy with a QR link directly to the video of them receiving the award, mate. That's
their modern day. That's a double coverage NFT right there.
That's it. So good. So out of inspiration from you guys came the very first card, which you got their Source, and then from there, I started looking into Instagram card art. I think a lot of people might have heard of Donny B. Was probably the first one I stumbled across.
Massive Donny B. Yep. Very familiar with him. Makes some ripper stuff.
The one I get most inspiration from is a bloke in the States. I think he's called LJS Cards. And he just does amazing stuff with patches. And there's a massive lack of that in NRL cards. And it's probably the same in AFL, that you don't see these cards with the big patches and big sort of memorabilia cards as much. And so I thought, I've got Hazamel Masri here. Big Bulldogs patch in the background.
That's sick. You've done
it's pretty cool.
Done a few,
and they just look great.
Done some very nice ones. I'm actually gonna. There you go.
Tommy Turbo.
And you just don't see this sort of stuff in
Hang on, let me bring you up full
NRL.
screen, Adam. 1 sec. Here you go.
You just don't see that sort of stuff in NRL products.
Yeah, definitely, and definitely an AFL product. They don't do none of that.
Well, you do, but it's like in a supremacy. You
In
might
supremacy.
get it
Yeah, okay. You might get a bit of a
but it's
patch.
very rare, very, very rare. But that's sick.
So there's definitely a hole in the market, and people love it. Like I get messages every day. Can you make this for me? Can you make that for me? And yeah, I've got a few orders on the boil at the moment, and what really spurred me on was I don't know if you remember the Jordan card that I made like pretty early on.
Yeah, I will bring that up. I've got your Instagram page right here.
So that Jordan card, which Dom was bringing up, I put it up for auction just on Facebook, and it got a lot of interest, and it ended up selling for $140, which blew me away. $140. So
That's awesome.
It just really gave me confidence that maybe I was doing something that people are interested in, and
100%.
they're selling really well. Like I don't knock out many, probably one a week if that. But it's just it's therapeutic for me. It's relaxing. Sit out here in the office and hack away at some cards and
yeah. What do? Chuck some tunes on, chuck some YouTube on,
yeah,
something, and just go away at it. Yeah, like it's good.
Whack the podcast on and
there's mine. There he is, Tipper Woody.
There you go, saucies.
I love it. I love it. So, speak to us a bit about the process in it, because I see, like, you know, it's in a fat, like it's in a fat one touch. I'm guessing like you're stacking the cards on top of each other and like cutting out the areas in between.
Yeah, exactly. So on that note, I think they're 200 point one touches. If anyone's got any, I'm buying because these are so hard to find. But yeah, so it's just I got a sort of Stanley knife little blade, and it's just a matter of trying to be as neat as possible, taking your time, cutting out the border. I'll show you this one. It's a little card I'm working on. So that's just cut out the player itself, and you can see on the back here where I glued him on, and a couple little strips of tape to hold him on there, and it's solid as. And then building up the little background card is just a stack of cards on the border there.
Yeah.
And then I'll place a patch in there, the jersey, whatever it is, that card, and glue it in there, and basically that just goes on top with a patch behind it.
Unbelievable. That's crazy. Oh, well.
So, like it is time consuming.
There's the patch. I've got one of my own as well. I'm very happy with this.
Cristiano. That's nice. So you've come a long way. So obviously that was your first, the Le Mans of the Year award was your very first. And admittedly, that was a hack job. But from now, you've definitely improved, and we've seen a lot of your work, and you've done, you've made the Cristiano Ronaldo for Doma, you've made the Tipper Woody for me, you've also made, for one of another fan of the show, Maddie, you made him a Marshawn Lynch card. Let me just tell you, it was absolutely sick. And we'll release. We've told Maddie we're stealing that for a fan zone, so we'll be definitely getting a post out about that at some point. So you'll see it, ladies and gentlemen. What was the evolution of you like improving? Was it just like repetition, and you just has there been ones where you've just like stuffed it up terribly and you've just like had to start again, or what's the process?
I haven't stuffed any up. So I'm a really patient person. So these do take a lot of time to knock out. And like I said, I find it really therapeutic. So I'll just sit here and just cut away and take my time with it really slow. There was one card I made. I think it was a Watson. Is a quarterback, I think, for the Jets. I actually started out as a Sam Darnold, but not being a big NFL fan, I didn't realize that he didn't play for the Jets anymore. So I had to go through my stack of cards and find a Wilson card to cut him out instead as the Sam Darnold that was in there. So I had to change up the personnel in one card, but apart from that, I haven't really. It's just a patience thing. Anyone that wants to give it a crack, just take your time with it. Measure twice, cut once, and yeah, they come together really nice, and they're unique, like one of a kind, and people can see the effort you put into it. I get that a lot. Yeah,
100% you can, and that's the awesome thing about it. And like you said, they are unique. They are a once-off piece. Like you're not. Like the Ronaldo you made for myself, the Tip and Woody you made for Sauce, it's a one-off. Like I'm not going to be able to go get another one of those anywhere, and that's why it's awesome. And there's definitely a market for you there with people that want custom cards made for themselves. Just a quick one though, like where do you source everything for the cards? Like when it comes to patches and everything, like even the little picture of the player and.
Yeah, so eBay singles for the border. It's a really good place. Like, and I try, as you can see, I try to match all the colors together. Saucy's Tip and Woody was a lot of red in that.
Yeah.
And so eBay's a great place to start to just buy singles. They're so cheap. Like cracked eye stuff of a no-name basketball player to put in an NRL card. It's like $1, you know. As for the patches and stuff, I go to a lot of op shops or thrift stores if you're in America. And there's so many bargains to find there. Like, I think every time I go to Melbourne, I think you got Savers. Is it down there?
Yep. That's the one.
And I don't know, there's just a clothes rack full of jerseys, basketball jerseys, footy AFL jerseys. And they're all like $3, $4. And I've actually got one down here. You can see I've done the hack job on the Jordan singlet. It's a $3 singlet from the op shop. So that's where I get the patches from. And as for like glue and stuff, just Spotlight. Any craft supply shop. And as you can see from the backing and the borders, I just hack out a few I think they're contenders, cheap contenders cards to do the border and that. So
you can send all your Nick Claxtons to Adam and he can use them for his borders.
Exactly.
I had to get in there. I had to do it. I had to do it.
The quick tap. I love it.
I had to.
Stuff like this you can buy on eBay. Just cracked eye.
Yeah, I noticed that you're putting the backings on there as well, which is pretty cool.
And for a couple of bucks, you can buy sheets of this stuff, and
yeah, that's sick.
So where do you get some of your inspiration? You've spoken about other guys, other custom card artists. Your number one go-to is definitely the jumbo patch in the back. Have you thought about what's going to be possibly your next design? I mean, there's some guys out there that they're doing some really interesting stuff. One guy's doing with all different like triangular pieces. I can't remember his account name. But like it puts all the triangles together like a mosaic in the background behind the player.
It looks amazing.
He cuts out little pieces and then puts them together. They might be different colors, and it makes a mosaic behind of all just it's all prism colored cards or whatever it is. But it looks really cool. So have you had any thought what might be your next crack other than the jumbo patch? If you past that point.
I have thought about this, and I really want to get in contact with a couple of NRL players and send a card to them to sign, like a one-off card. Can you sign this, please? Maybe cut out a little white square for them, a rectangle, so they can sign in that section on the card. Probably Nathan Cleary would be a good place to start. I'm a massive fan. So if you're listening, Nathan,
tag him, mate. Don't worry, Nathan Cleary.
That's it.
You know how I roll in the.
But
in the
I think that's probably something that's achievable. Maybe, I don't know.
It is definitely achievable for sure.
So yeah, it's a one-off signature card of your favorite player. I reckon that'll be pretty cool.
It'd definitely be a one of one, mate.
That's next on my list of try and put the feelers out there and see if I can rustle up any interest. And there's a lot of in-person signature cards on eBay as well. So maybe picking up one of those and incorporating a signature
might even be
into one of mine.
It might even be potential to like check out some of these players that are involved philanthropically through charities and stuff, and they might say, yeah, like we might give away a jersey signed by myself, but like you might say, you don't need to pay for it, whatever. All you have to do is sign it. I'll create a custom card. You can chuck it in there, and
we'll donate it to charity.
Yeah, donate it to charity. It's like a lot of athletes are doing that stuff. So, and I'm pretty sure like kids love cards these days, and it's even if they play around with it or whatever. But something like this, it's something as a collectible, they could just. I know they'd love that, having that signed by their favorite player. So there's heaps of scope for it, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's been next on my radar. Is trying to get a signature. Or even I would never want to cut one of these up, but as you can see, that
you probably don't want to.
Nah, but there's a lot of cards out there like that. Maybe I could utilize a signature in there somewhere, and just make it a real one of one and something desirable for someone. And actually, I've given a lot of these away to people in the community, the hobby community. I really enjoy making them, and they don't cost me a whole lot to make. As I've told you, like you can source all the stuff to make them pretty cheap. And I just like seeing the smile on people's faces. Something that I've made actually brings a bit of joy, you know. So
that's it, mate. That's the whole thing in the hobby, and it is a great community, and you are definitely a big part of that, mate. So, which is fantastic. Now, you did mention it before you got into the custom cards, and some people have placed orders with you. But can people place orders with you if they want to? Where's the best place to do it? Are you not taking full-blown orders yet?
So when it comes to taking orders, I've done a few commission jobs for people, and it really makes me nervous because they have an expectation of what they have in their head, and it gives me a bit of anxiety. Is it up to their expectation, and that sort of stuff? So what I'm trying to do is just make what I envision in my head, and if someone likes it, they can buy it. So I'm working on a website at the moment, sort of like a gallery where I'm going to put up my work, and if anyone wants to come along and have a look through there, they can, and maybe put some prices up there at some stage if people want to buy. But yeah, it just makes me really nervous when people have an expectation and I've got to try and live up to that.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But I reckon that's a great idea, putting all your stuff on a website and then linking that through to your Instagram page and saying these are for sale, and getting yourself a link tree set up with your eBay store, your website, and
and I'll just say, if anybody's looking for ideas and wants to get into card art, just jump on Instagram. It's an amazing tool for research, even just hobby stuff. Like social media is unbelievable for finding information and inspiration. So yeah, I recommend jumping on Instagram.
Card art, hashtag card art is a big thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. In the States, it's massive.
If you put that hashtag in Instagram, hashtag card art, and just have a browse, man, you'll see some of the the custom cards that other people have made. So
I've got to keep it on the download, but I'm actually doing a collab with a card maker from the States. So we're working on that at the moment. They're getting their end done first, and then they're going to send it over here for me to do my side of the the collab, and
Fantastic.
we'll leave it at that. But there's so many cool people in the hobby that all you got to do is ask a question, and they're happy to help.
That's it, mate.
Even you guys, you know,
Well,
always happy to have a chat and
that's what we say, mate. We say, you know,
throw
if you're
ideas off you
unsure,
and stuff.
that's right. If you're unsure, you wanted to ask a question, ask away, mate. Ask away.
And as we say, mate, you can ask us, and if we haven't got the answer, we'll definitely put you in the direction of someone that can definitely give it to you. So that's the whole thing about
it. And there are no stupid questions either. If you're a young bloke or girl looking to get into card art, just inbox me and, you know, hit me up, and I'll tell you what I know, which might not be a lot, but it might point you in the right direction. And yeah, feel free. I'm always available for a chat. So
very nice. I like it. Before we do finish up, though, what are you currently looking at in the hobby?
Mostly singles. Like, I do like to rip stuff, but
only when you find it at Kmart and Big W, mate.
Yeah,
exactly.
Send
me some photo of some of your scores, mate. Is, you know, pretty good. Pretty good.
I do like to go card hunting and try to find the old retail jackpot occasionally, but just singles on eBay, like, they're so cheap at the moment, and just whatever you're into, sort of buy cards that you love. And
definitely, I know a lot of people and a lot of content creators have come out and said that, like, because we've said that before, and they say, oh, like, that's not the best advice. Tell people to buy what they love, but if you don't, like, even if it's not for an investment purpose, or it could be for an investment purpose, but it works in that way of, like, if you want to buy a product, buy what you like, buy Prism. Don't go buy the product for the flip if you intend on, like, you know, ripping it and then flipping the cards that are in that box. Just stick to what you know, stick to what you like. Like, it's funny how people
I
just,
buy
like,
a lot
don't
of
give,
NRL singles.
Yep.
Like, I'll never hit that card if I was ripping packs or in breaks or whatever. Like, what are the chances of me hitting that card? So $100 that card was on eBay for. So, and I'll keep these forever. Like, I just think I could have spent a fortune trying to rip it, or, you know, hit it in a break.
It's definitely not the way if you want to get a specific card, or you definitely buy the singles. You know, we all know ripping is a gamble, but it's part of the hobby and it's fun.
It's enjoyable.
And we like to do it.
You boys saw this one. I hit that in a retail hanger.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I'll tell you what, you're not whiffing on that bloke after his performance that he had today. He put up 29 points in his first game of the season and got the dub. But that was definitely a ripper hit. I mean, you can't get much better out of a retail hanger, can you, than hitting that?
And no matter what source tells you, if you get NRL cards, send them to CGA. Nice and cheap. They look good. I'm a fan.
I got nothing against CGA.
I'm not going to say.
I've got nothing against CGA.
Nothing against.
I'm not. Adam's baiting. I'm not getting into this discussion, unfortunately. We've got nothing against them. They do good stuff. We just got something against the fact that wouldn't you want to promote yourself in Australia and jump on a podcast? But anyway,
100%. I'll promote them. I'll promote them.
I love it. All right. Next one, underrated card or product in the hobby.
Underrated card or product.
He's keen on the flux, mate. He's keen on the flux.
I do like the flux, but I realise, like, that's something that I like and I like to collect, and it's not.
I like Marquee. I'm very much the same, and I hear people talk about Marquee. They talk shit about it, and, you know, I've heard people they look average, and I'm like, oh, you know, it's something that I like, and you know what? Sometimes it's good to have something to collect in the hobby that not many other people like. You know why? Because it means you can buy more of it, and it's cheaper. So you get to buy your cards that you like. So it's fine to have something that's different. You know, you're going to buy some
with the tickets, the rookie tickets and the historic tickets and the legendary tickets, and
but everyone else likes those.
No, but everyone was like, "Oh, this shit." there's nothing in those cards, and now they're the bee's knees of everything.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, they're bees knees. Now they're like a kaboom, mate. Everyone
Now I
wants
can't
them.
even freaking, mate. I'm lucky to pick up just a crappy base rookie ticket raw for of a good player for $50. Like you're winning if that's the case. Sometimes, like it's insane, absolutely insane.
So
But
yeah,
it is.
as for underrated, I don't think there is a whole lot that's underrated.
Could be a
Just,
player as well, or someone as well, a player that you've seen that you reckon doesn't get enough love that should be.
oh man, I really like Maxi, but I'm a Sixers supporter. So
He's good. He balled
and
out
I
today.
think he's gonna have a lot of floor time this year.
Oh,
So
100%. The
He's
other
gonna be
blokes don't
starting.
get
I
enough
mean, Ben
left on
Simmons
Yeah.
isn't starting, so it's gonna be Maxi. It's Maxi's the guy there.
yeah, and
I mean,
his car prices are actually quite reasonable at the moment. So
yeah, not bad, not bad.
I've got a few of his being a Sixers fan, but as a product, I just like the old school stuff. Like they're not printing any more of it, so I mean the prices aren't going to go down. I don't think. Like just grab some of these old PSA cards and
They're so sick. I'm just going to type that in. I'm just going to go Jordan inserts and just start buying a shit ton after I lose everything that I've bidded on the PWCC auction. That's going to end. At the
they're
end of
not they're not a whole lot of they don't cost a whole lot of money to jump on these things. Like
yeah, it's sick.
and they're so good to look at. I come out into the office and just pull out all the Jordans and I just go through them.
They're sick. How
Yeah, I
good
like the
is that?
Supermans.
Yeah, they're nice. They're so nice. They were
Yeah.
the cards were made different back then, mate. They were like there was actually imagination. There was imagination back then. Like that's a nice card.
Yeah, and they don't have to be Jordan. Like if you like Shaq, they do all these in Shaq or AI or Kobe's probably a bit expensive for me, but yeah, it's
just
just
100%. Oh, you can get anyone you like: Duncan, Shaq, Hakeem. I don't know, Scottie Pippen, whoever you want. Really,
exactly.
Tony
Yeah,
Kukoc.
You don't have to buy the goat, but yeah, there's a lot of cool inserts and even just the information on the back. Like I read all the stats and just blown away by what Jordan did back in the day. But
I reckon it's unbelievable, the stuff like that, and that's what I mean. It's just the admiration for that card and what it is. It's fantastic, and that's why I respect the modern cards, not the vintage cards so
the vintage,
much.
yeah.
Like the moderns, whatever. It's just like printed to the death as much as like junk wax, but there's a bit more effort in terms of like design on stuff, and now they're just changing colors of things. It's like, oh, this is the card, but we're going to make it green or make it red or make it orange, and like that's
I
the
was
thing that they
looking
do
at
now.
Select the other day, and the prices of Select is so cheap. It's like they must have printed 24 hours a day.
I was actually looking at some Jonathan Taylor. I was looking at CD Lamb. I know they're not QBs, but they're Select stuff. I like the Select variants better than the Prism.
Yeah,
and I was looking at some of the Jonathan Taylor cards, and they're like worth nothing. Some like numbered cards, and you're picking them up like you can get it for $10. I'm thinking to myself,
insane.
what the hell's happened here to Select? But if I go to his Prism, the card's worth $60. Like people got them listed for, and it's like, oh, I'm not paying that.
I prefer Select, like just the look of it. Personally,
Select's nice.
Over
nice
Prism.
in there.
There's a lot of variants. A lot of variants in Prism as well.
It's
I feel sorry for people chasing rainbows at the moment with the what was Mosaic last year, and
it's insane. Honestly, it is crazy. It is crazy. The amount of I remember when we did the product preview for Select Basketball. Was it last year or was it select football, and we read out all the variants on the show, and I tried to go as quickly as possible, and it's just
the
colour after
tricolors of
colour.
every color in the rainbow.
Yeah, tricolor and there's blue waves and blue spots and blue stripes.
It's not tangible to do a rainbow anymore, is it?
No. Before it was just so like there was a number of colors, but it wasn't to what it is now.
That Jordan Star Quest, I think it was. I got the blue one there. It comes in blue, red, and green. So yeah. I'm chasing the red and the green. So
that's like even PMGs and stuff as well. Like there was X amount of colors. Just imagine if they had to do PMGs now.
Yeah, shimmer, fast break.
Yeah, fast break. Yeah, choice.
That's it.
My God, it's just ridiculous. And lucky last question: your favorite card in your collection?
Oh wow, that's a tough one. Yeah, it would have to be the Cleary Auto Pristine 10. You probably don't rate the grading very highly, but it's a nice card,
mate. It's still slabbed and protected in the end of the day. So
yeah, that's probably up there.
Player as well.
Yeah, he being a Panthers supporter my whole life, I sort of a bit happy at the moment. I haven't taken this jersey off since we won the premiership, so
love it.
He's been wearing a flat stick. I love it.
Yeah, that's it.
You attended the match, didn't you, Adam?
Yeah, forged some COVID documents and headed up to Brisbane for that. So yeah.
You didn't
I
do
wish.
That there.
I wish I went there. No, I wish I got up.
No,
I was stuck at home like everyone else. So,
man,
enjoyed it on the lounge with the family. So it was good.
That's all right. That's
and
it's good that they won though. Well done.
The missus and all her family go for the D's, so they're all Melbourne supporters. So
we had a really good happy days.
That's it.
Happy days.
Just happy days. Just premierships everywhere. Winning.
Reigning premierships. And I reckon they both got a couple more in them. I'm hoping so. The D's look good and Panthers look good. So
I don't see how anyone's beaten Melbourne when they breezed through the final series, when they blew out every single team that they played.
Yeah. What was your call at the start of the year? Richmond, was it?
No, I said Melbourne at the start of the year.
Oh, did you?
I said Petrarca to win the Norm Smith.
There you
go.
I said
Ollie he called it all. Did you, Dom? No. He's retracting his statements here.
Yeah, I did say Richard. I said Martin to win the Brownlow and him to win the Norm Smith as well. I struggle there. Just we won't bring that up anymore.
I love your takes, Doma. I love them.
Yeah, the shit.
Well, I tune in. I tune in for Doma's takes.
I hit. I'll be honest. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I hit more than I miss, which is a positive.
And did I hear United got up today or?
Oh,
yep,
they did. This man right here, mate. El Goto Magnifico, as I called him in the Discord. Yeah, they got up. He did the job. Nice. Does what he's there to do, just win games and keep Ollie in his coaching position.
I've been trying to watch a little bit of it so I can keep up with you boys, but yeah, it's a lot of wrap my head around. A lot of names that I can't pronounce. So
that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
It is. It can be slow at times. It can sometimes be difficult to get into. Have you got into any soccer cards, or are you just waiting?
No. That scares me. I wouldn't know where to start.
It is a bit daunting.
I was a Chelsea fan back in the day, like Didier Drogba and that sort of stuff. Nice. I used to watch a couple of games. Lampard, was it?
Yeah, Lampard.
Yep. Yeah. So
Drogba's one of Saucy's boys. Used to love
Drogba. I love Drogba. I got to get one of his rookie cards.
I think it was around. It was sort of early 2000s. I think I was watching a little bit of it, but not enough to have any clue about cards or what I'm doing. So I'll stay well away from that.
That's it, mate. Just listen to Soccer Card Collective on a Monday.
Yeah. It's actually
that'll help you out.
interesting to tune into, and more so the watch-alongs. I'll get up the Optus Sports and I'll watch the game along with you with your commentary and your comments on it, and I've been enjoying that. Listening along.
It's all been fun, and just while we do have you here, it's like one of those things from Saucy and I as well that we can thank you in person for literally your support. It's been awesome for the custom cards you've done for us as well, and we appreciate it. And it's like people like yourself and others, like we wouldn't be here doing like a series and getting all these people coming on and interviews with people over in the States, and like not for anything, we're doing stuff with HGA now. We're getting Tyler on, and we're interviewing him again. And that doesn't happen without people like yourself who supported us. And not for anything, like you said, I got my takes. Most of them are shit. I was being an idiot before. Most of them are shit. But the fact,
don't worry, mate. That's why I'm here. I'll keep you in line because I tell you to keep me in line.
But it's there. So I'll give you guys a bit of praise, because when you look around social media and stuff, it's sometimes hard to find the genuine people, and you guys really are genuine. Like when you stuff up and have a bad call, you'll admit it, and everyone laughs about it, and the banter and like, so when you find that genuine content creator or whatever, someone who's honest and not going to give you a bum steer or doesn't have any agenda in the hobby, like people that will give you advice based on what they know and being honest about it, then you sort of hang around, and that's a testament to you guys. So you keep me engaged and entertained, and that's why I gave you those cards, because sometimes it's a thankless job you guys do, because a lot of hard work goes into it, and I know I appreciate it, and
thank you.
I'm sure
mate,
everyone
when you come
else
down
does
to
as
Melbourne,
well.
or I get up there, I can buy you a beer, mate. So
yeah, definitely.
100%. Well, thank you so much for jumping on, being our first guest on episode 1 of the Magnificent Seven. We'll say it to you once again, mate. Don't sell yourself short. You're doing great stuff. If you want to find Adam, it is at beats.n.breaks on Instagram. Hit him up. Check out his stuff. Stay tuned. As he said, there is a website coming out, and all the info will be in the links in the description. So Saucy does. He's all over it. Well, thank you once again.
Guys.
No worries.
Appreciate it.
On behalf of myself, the great man Sauce, and Adam, beats.n.breaks. Yeah, I almost missed the great man.
Come on, mate. Don't forget the great. All right.
Mate, this is airing probably a week after I've woken up to watch United, and I'm absolutely ruined. I use too much energy. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.